Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's Monday again. We are at the start of another week of business ups and downs, PR ups and downs, life ups and downs. Hopefully a few more ups than downs, but we'll see how it goes this week. So this video, in terms of like the PR advice that I'm going to share, I'm going to talk about the three main things that I did to help my clients appear on more than 50 podcasts in the last year as guests. So throughout 2025, my clients appeared on more than 50 podcasts, and I'm going to share with you what I did to make that happen. So stick around for that. Basically, at the start of the week, it's all about just getting things in place for the week ahead. I've had a couple of calls with a business partner that I'm working on a crisis communications package with called Storm Safe Crisis Communications, which I think I mentioned in the last video, and I'll talk about that again in the future, I'm sure, because it's going to be a very, very big part of this year. So we're just ready to launch publicly. We've started a social media account. We're about to do some more social media stuff. And yeah, we're basically just going to start going out to our network because both of us have worked in comms for such a long time. We're going to go out to our network and see if we can get some early bird customers that way for our new product, which is all about crisis communications planning. I've also done a coaching call. I do some coaching as well. So I did a coaching call with a client that I've worked with for a few years now. Earlier in the day, I've been doing some pitching. I got really good news for a client who has been accepted onto a nice business podcast, which will be a great fit for him. So the day has started quite well. I've still got quite a lot of stuff to do, to be honest, and it's already 3:30 in the afternoon, but we'll get there. So hopefully this will be the start of another good week, and I shall bring you along with me. So this morning I have been prepping a client for a podcast appearance that he's doing tonight. I have been forwarding on a couple of opportunities to people that came in overnight or, yesterday evening from outreach that I had done. I'm about to have a call today with someone that I used to work with a couple of years ago, and he's coming back just looking at whether I can support a particular project that he's got coming up over the next couple of months. So yes, I am in my dressing gown because that's what happens when you work from home and you can't have your heating on all the time in Scotland and you need to stay warm. So if I'm not on a call, if I don't have anyone that needs to actually see me for anything, then yeah, the dressing gown goes on over my clothes to keep warm. So the next time that you see me, I will be running you through the three key things that I did to get my clients on more than 50 podcasts as guests last year. And it's stuff that anyone can do. I am not a genius. I am no rocket scientist. I'll be sharing things with you that you can do because anyone can do them. But hopefully you'll benefit more from hearing them from me because they're coming from my 20 years of PR experience. So stay tuned and I'm going to pop up with that info next. So I'm going to talk about podcasts and specifically being a guest on podcasts and how that can really boost your profile. And my clients have been on many, many podcasts over the last few years as guests, from small podcasts to much bigger ones that have got a much bigger reach, but all of them are relevant to what that client talks about, and that is the key thing. That's why it's a good fit for them, because they're speaking to people in that podcast audience that are already potentially interested in what they've got to say. Now, being a podcast guest, it's something that I spend a lot of my time setting up for clients because it's such a good way to tap into new audiences, to build your profile, to be able to show what you know and share your knowledge in a way that actually builds connection with people, and then the audience of that podcast want to come and learn more from you directly. So there's tons of reasons why being a guest on podcasts is a great idea. Just to quickly go through a few of the main ones, for me, it's a great use of your time, especially if you're recording remotely online. You could spend an hour doing a podcast and reach, a couple of hundred people, maybe even more through that. The podcast host has done the hard work. They're the ones that have set up that audience. They've nurtured and built up that core audience, and you get a chance to tap into that thanks to their hard work. So It's a great use of your time. You get to borrow the audience from someone else and bring them over into your container. It's a great chance for you to share value and knowledge and really show what you know. And that's a massive thing when you're being a podcast guest. You want to share your knowledge. You want to do it in an interesting and informative way that makes people feel like they're glad they listened to that episode, that they feel like actually they're further forward on their own journey because they listened to what you had to say on that podcast. So yeah, loads and loads of reasons, plus there's tons of podcasts out there. So there's going to be a podcast for you to appear on for sure. And there's new ones coming on board every single day. So you just have to put yourself out there. You have to start looking for podcast opportunities, looking for the podcast that you could appear on, pitching to them and seeing where you get to and hopefully getting that yes that you want. So the 3 key things that I do and have done to get my clients on podcasts and to appear on more than 50 podcasts in 2025 and more than 50 podcasts in 2024 before that as well. Number 1, and I'm going to put a few bits on the screen hopefully to help with this. Number 1 is getting super clear on what my clients can talk about. And you can do this for you as well. It should be even easier. Getting super clear on what is the subject matter and the topics that they can talk about. What are their key messages? What do they like talking about? What are they good at talking about? And to be honest, I just literally write a big long list, and you can do it for yourself, a big long list of all the different things that you can talk about. So it might be wide subject areas, it might be really specific things, but almost just list them down, and then you can use them as keywords when you go to search on different podcast platforms. So if you're a parenting expert, you can talk about being a parent, you can talk about family, you can talk about kids, you can talk about different age of kids. Maybe you've got teenagers, maybe you've got toddlers. You can talk about, being a mum in your 40s, being a mum in your 30s, being a mum in your 20s. There's so many different sort of aspects of just that one subject that you can pull out, and there'll be podcasts about all these different types of things. You can talk about elements to do with your own life as well. You can talk about maybe you are vegan, maybe you are into running, maybe that helps you deal with stress, maybe you have gone alcohol free. There's tons of different things that between our main subject that we can talk about and the other sort of peripheral things that we can talk about that we can tap into. And the thing with PR is it's all about options. When I'm looking at, potentially working with a new client, I want to know how many options we've got. How many different things can we talk about? How many different topics can we tap into? Because the more that we can, the more opportunity we're going to have to find those channels and those outlets where the client can talk about those things. So write a big long list, as many as you can, of subject matters, topics, messages, things that you want to talk about, feel like you can talk about, and that you talk about sort of day to day in your business anyway. So that was number 1. Number 2, pitching. Pitching is absolutely key. So once you've got your big long list of sort of things that you can talk about on podcasts, you need to start going and searching those podcasts platforms, looking for the podcast that might be a good fit, finding the contact details. This is all stuff that I do every single week. And then pitching is absolutely key. And I've got like a 3-point framework for pitching, which is number 1, you need to share what you can contribute. What value can you bring to the table? Why will people benefit from hearing what you've got to say on that episode? You need to share that with the podcast host in your pitch, first and foremost. Secondly, you need to share who you are to be considered an authority in that subject. So what's your experience? What is your expertise? What are the achievements that you have sort of built up along the way in that sort of subject matter? You need to show why should people listen to you? in this particular topic. And then 3, basically, you need to show the podcast host how you're going to help them achieve their goals. They want to grow their podcast. You need to talk about how you being a guest on that podcast can help them with that, because you are going to share it to your audience of X amount, or maybe you're going to tell them all the different channels that you can share it on. Maybe there's people in your network you can introduce them to, things like that. Maybe you've got your own podcast as well and you can invite them as a guest on your podcast. So think about how you can help the podcast host achieve their goals as well. And if you can show, 1, what you can bring to the table, 2, why you're someone that people can listen to for that particular subject matter, and 3, how you can boost the podcast's listenership, then you're well on your way to getting a yes for that podcast. Now, the third key thing that has helped me get my clients onto so many podcasts is perseverance. And you just have to keep trying. You simply have to just not give up. Even when you don't get replies, even when you get some no's, even when it feels like the work you're doing is not actually leading anywhere, don't give up. You have to persevere. There's times when I've reached out to podcasts and not heard anything back, and gone back to them a couple of months later and straight away had a yes, or followed up and someone's come back and said, oh, I must have missed this the first time round. Do not give up. And also don't stop looking, because there's new podcasts coming on all the time, or ones that are getting, starting new series or being revamped. So there's just opportunities popping up all the time. So even if it doesn't happen for you straight away, keep going, keep thinking about all the different angles that you can come from, keep looking for all the different podcasts that you can pitch to, and just keep trying. It is literally, perseverance is just one of the biggest skill sets that you need in PR. So when you're doing your own PR, it's exactly the same. Oh my goodness, it's a grim day today, but I just wanted to pick up on what I was talking about just in the last clip or earlier in the video, which was when people ignore you. And I think the sooner you can get used to, in business, in PR, but in business in general, being ignored, being told no, being rejected, being overlooked, the better, because it's going to happen every single week to you. The only 2 times that it actually bugs me is, number 1, when you're in a conversation with someone and suddenly they just disappear and you're like, wait, I thought we were having a conversation there. And the second time is when people approach me to potentially work with them PR wise, and if I then jump on a call with them, usually I do some research before the call, and then I spend at least an hour on a call with them, chatting to them, giving them ideas, etc. And then I'll write up a proposal for them. If I want to work with them, I'll write a proposal for them. And so basically all of this can take like a good few hours work on my side, or time from my side, and then you send it to them, nothing. You don't even get a thank you for sending me that proposal. After they approached you, after you gave them several hours of your time, after you most likely had a really good positive call with them, because I've never had a potential client call that's not like flowed nicely and we got on well, they just don't come back. And I actually do not mind if people come back and say, thanks, but I don't think it's for me, or thanks, but I'll keep it in mind for the future. It's not about whether I've got the work or not. That's not what bugs me. Whether they go ahead with the proposal or not is absolutely fine. It's about not even acknowledging that I've sent them it. Not even saying thank you for putting the time in to send me this. And so I know what happens. People put it off and then they think, well, I've left it too late now. And the reality is, yes, you probably have left it too late at that point, but you should still probably come back and say, oh, sorry, I didn't come back sooner, but thank you for sending this over. So there you go. That's only 2 times that it bugs me. But even that now, I kind of just go, whatever whatever, people will do their thing. It doesn't reflect on you. You just carry on. Well, it's the end of the week again. It's Friday afternoon and I am not far away from getting my pyjamas on, to be honest. It's been that kind of week, busy. It doesn't feel like it's just the second week back after the holidays. I know technically it's the third week back, but for me it's the second week back and it's been busy, hit the ground running, which probably, if I'm honest, I prefer anyway. Today I had a really early start. I went for a long walk because it was one of my only chances to get it done. I then did about an hour and a half of work and then I went and met a friend for brunch, which was delicious. They do an incredible brunch there. We always have the most sort of insightful, like just helpful chat. Like she's a friend, but she's a business friend as well. She runs her own business. We do completely different things, but we both get it. We both have similar approaches to things. We both understand what it's like to run a business, just navigate all the ups and downs. So that was fab. Loved doing that. Then came home, had about 10 minutes, and then I was straight onto a call with a client. So we had a good catch-up call. It's a podcast studio that I work with, and we were just thinking through some ideas, checking in on where we're up to with a few things. And so good. It's been a good day, and now I'm just finalising a proposal. I worked with a charity a couple of years ago. They came to me last week with a crisis situation that they needed some advice on. So I had supported them last week with that, just right at the end of the week. And then this week they had wanted to talk to me about some plans that they've got for this year. So quite a low-key like proposal really in terms of like my time, but I'm just getting that together by the end of the day so that I can send it off. So it's been a good week. Some of my clients have recorded definitely at least 2 podcasts, if not more. I had 2 really good results. One client who's going to be speaking at a big festival, which I'm really pleased about, and another who's got a really good podcast for her niche. It's one of the biggest ones for her niche, which is careers, sort of workplace HR type content. So really pleased about that. I've done loads of outreach for various different clients as well. A client this morning got interviewed by the Sunday Post, which is a Sunday paper here in Scotland. So they're doing a feature and he is one of the case studies for that feature. So yeah, can't complain, cannot complain. I'm tired, I'm ready to put my pyjamas on, but I've had a really good week. Next week I am out and about a little bit, which is exciting. I've got a trip to Edinburgh and just more of the same really. Got another new client this week for a one-off sort of short project in February, but that's good. That's just something else for February because everyone seems to be saying I'm starting in March. I've got this thing coming. It's probably going to be March. It's probably going to be spring. So it's nice to just make sure that I've got things lined up for February as well. So yeah, another week has passed in a flash and I hope you have enjoyed sharing it with me and I shall see you again soon.